Welcome back to Kiesel News, everybody. Today, we're going to be starting off with catching up with some stories yesterday. For the first, being that Quentin Tarantino's final movie is actually scrapped now, and he's looking for a whole new idea. This is very surprising, as he's been hyping up this movie for years at this point. Fucking years. And now he's just going for a whole new concept. Next up, we have official confirmation that Fallout Season 2 is happening. And apparently, the director says that Aaron Paul will want to star in it. This would be awesome to see, as Aaron Paul hasn't really had a breakout role since he was in the Better Call Saul cameo. Bob Odenkirk has had Lucky Hank, which unfortunately didn't go too well, but Bryan Cranston was also in Your Honor. Ray Seahorn has her show with Vince Gilligan, so I think it's time that Aaron Paul gets in. And apparently he was at the Fallout premiere, so he's a big fan of the games, which I didn't know. So if he's a fan of the games, he could even provide some input to make sure that the show stays in line with the lore, which I have heard that it has been doing, aside from that Fallout New Vegas controversy. That controversy is unwarranted, by the way. Yes, the series is canon to the games. Todd Howard confirmed. I'm including this highlight in for my friend. You know who you are if you're watching this video. But Oldboy, which is his favorite series of all time, is getting a TV series remake. Now, I'm sure he would be against the idea of a remake as well, as I would be. But the original director is working on it, Park Chan-wook. So I think it'll turn out okay. And honestly, this should be the path that remakes go. If the original creator thinks that they can remake it in a better way than how they originally made it, like 20 years ago or whatever, then that should be when remakes are made. That's not to say that having a new person remake an old movie doesn't work, but you should have the original creator involved in some way, and you could just add on fresh blood as additional writing staff, or you could call them modernized writing staff for any of the modern changes, but the changes would have to be approved by the original creator, and that would solve a lot of the problems. Next up, we funnily have news on Martin Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino in the same day. This news being that Leonardo DiCaprio is going to play Frank Sinatra in Martin Scorsese's biopic of him. Now, I wonder if this puts him over De Niro or anybody else, or if he already was. Though it appears that it does not, as De Niro has 10, and this will be Leonardo's 7th. But it's still insane with how many times he's been in his movies. I can see Vince Gilligan becoming the next iteration of this, as he's stated that he wants to keep using the same actors in all his projects. To bring up the Ray Seahorn project again, Ray Seahorn is being used in his new show, right? So it's only going to keep going from there. Maybe if he eventually does that Gus show, he'll be working with Giancarlo again, maybe? But in relation to this actual piece of news, Jennifer Lawrence is going to be playing Frank Sinatra's wife. So I actually think Jennifer Lawrence and Martin Scorsese is going to be a great duo. Once again, my film bro friend who likes Oldboy, I don't know if he would agree with that, but we'll see. Now, as for Civil War, that movie that just came out with Jesse Plemons, that's receiving huge success at the box office. Apparently, they have just released some posters for the movie that utilize AI, and they have the most fucking bullshit excuse I've ever seen. essentially stating that since the movie was such a huge what if, and that's the entire point of the movie, they wanted to show real life locations that were fucked up by AI in order to showcase what could happen to them in the movie's world. But that just seems like immense backpedaling to me. Because if they really thought that the AI was going to give them bad images, one, I doubt they would use it for actual promotion for a movie that they want people to go see. And two, they would be against AI and wouldn't want to utilize it whatsoever. So I think this is just backpedaling after they got backlash. Since some companies still don't seem to get how shitty AI is, judging by that news, let's go over a story where AI made a massive fumble. So first off, apparently Twitter has an AI-powered trending tab now. Why? Why does it need to be powered by AI? Do we not have enough staff on Twitter now? Are they all leaving because Elon's incompetent as fuck? So we have to rely on AI now? But anyway, it is suggested that an NBA player named Klay Thompson is vandalizing people's houses with bricks, probably because people were tweeting that he was shooting bricks after missing 10 shots against the Kings. That's at least what I'm getting from this, because why else would AI think that he was vandalizing people with bricks in relation to a basketball game? It's crazy to me how AI can have a mistake this bad while also creating videos that look as realistic as those Joker walking down in place of Kendrick Lamar memes. Now, a third AI story has dropped while I was filming this, relating to Netflix. This one is by far the most fucked up, and I don't think you can argue otherwise, as this is the only one that involves a real person. As in a true crime documentary, Netflix used AI to make one of those cheesy happy before pictures before everything turns south. But the only thing that's saving this, in my opinion, is that they did it to the killer and not the victim. So they didn't falsely portray the victim as happy. They falsely portrayed the killer as happy before they murdered. So I can't really feel any sympathy for the killer in terms of having their likeness used as AI, but it's scary that it's now being used to this extent. There's also the question of why they even felt the need to do this, because if they couldn't get a single picture that depicted the killer as happy before the murder, then why did they feel the need to include that? Now, I'm recording this the day before it goes up, so if we get any updates on this, I'll add it. But apparently, Twitter is looking to bring back Vine in some way. Now, I don't know if this just means a Vine ripoff, which Twitter is already capable of. You just post 6-second videos, and boom, you have Vine. Or if they actually mean that they're gonna try and buy the trademark and basically create a whole new app inside of Twitter. I mean, I know Elon's clearly bad with money if he bought Twitter in the first place, but I doubt he's gonna buy the trademark to Vine, as there'd be no point. Just create your own service like he's probably planning to do, as I doubt just hearing the name Vine would get a whole bunch of people back. Like, they'd go back for a few days like, oh my god, Vine's back, but then they'd probably just go back to TikTok or anything else, and Elon would lose money yet again. And once Elon loses more money, he'll lose any of his friends that he does have. So he'll be forced to partake in our next story, which is people playing games on the Apple Vision Pro with their avatars. I'm assuming this works where your avatar is just like a CPU type of thing. So what's the real difference between playing with a computer here? It's just to make basement dwellers who actually spent money on this product feel like they're actually socializing. Next up, we have news on M. Night Shyamalan's next movie, which follows a father and daughter who attend a concert that is being used as a trap to capture a serial killer. Now, what stands out about this movie is that it has a unique premise. It does make me wonder how the movie's gonna work though. Like, is the song so bad that the killer just admits his misdeeds? Or does he make the singer his next target because he hates the song so much? I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Next up, Sony is in talks to buy Paramount. And I'm gonna be honest, I thought they already had some stake in each other. Solely because I forgot that Paramount's new logo looks like the Columbia Pictures logo. So I thought that we were talking about Columbia Pictures for a second. Now that's obviously on me. But maybe it is better that Paramount gets bought out so they get a new logo. Because I genuinely thought they were Columbia Pictures. It'll be interesting to see if the deal does go through though. Because I'm pretty sure Sony still has rights with Netflix to distribute all their movies to there at some point, and I doubt Paramount would be okay with that. So, next up, Giancarlo Esposito said he was so broke before Breaking Bad that he considered committing a murder to provide for his family. This is not a joke or a meme of any sort, and it just puts into perspective that maybe actors are hiding more than they seem. Who knows, maybe Giancarlo isn't even a talented actor, because he's not acting, because he's just a fucking villain. The fact that he was planning a murder, I mean, I guess it depends who. Like, maybe he was planning to go all vigilante and, like, murder a corrupt politician or some shit. But maybe he was planning to actually murder Bryan Cranston on set of Breaking Bad. Ultimate conspiracy theory of all time. Oh my god. But seriously, maybe that's why Giancarlo has done all these speeches at stuff like Star Wars Celebration, where it's all about like hope and spreading love and cheer, because he was going through these dark times himself, and then he overcame them.
It's time to show him we are more than meets the eye.
That's right, we're talking about the Transformers 1 trailer. I couldn't end off today without talking about that. It definitely looks way different than I was expecting. Like, I knew being an animated movie and being a franchise that's primarily targeted at kids, we weren't gonna have something super serious and gritty. But I figured it would kind of be of a similar tone to the War for Cybertron trilogy, maybe on Netflix. So, like 13 plus type of thing. I also just expected an atmosphere that was similar to War for Cybertron in terms of it being like a dark origin story for Optimus and Megatron's rivalry. But instead, it kind of seems like it's going to be similar to the Mario movie in the sense that it'll be a lot of fun for Transformers hardcore fans, but there's a lot of kiddie humor, and there's also copyrighted music. Or not copyrighted music, but like A-list music, basically. Essentially, it's giving off the vibes of a MCU movie, which is okay for MCU movies, but when they try and replicate it, it usually doesn't go too well. It doesn't look bad, though, by any means. Really, the best thing I can say about it is the voice acting, as you can hear in the clip that I showed. I think Chris Hemsworth is actually doing a great job. Not mimicking Peter Cullen per se, but he's definitely bringing his vibe to the character. Scarlett Johansson as RC also sounds really good. All in all, it is nice to see a standalone Transformers movie that is set in the Golden Age as opposed to, just the Autobots versus Decepticons war once again. So, at least that's a plus. I just wish it was darker. Because I'm edgy. Ah, la, 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 la.